blossoming of Kew Gardens into a public institution in 1841 coincided with the arrival of photography. The many sides of Kew have been captured on camera. A place of learning, the heart of a vast botanical empire, and a much-loved garden for generations of visitors. This is the story of Kew Gardens in photographs. In the mid-19th century, an intrepid plant hunter began working at Kew. His influence would shape Kew's story. His name was Joseph Hooker.
Historically, Kew is Joseph Hooker, traveller, entrepreneur, writer, botanist, taxonomist, everything rolled into one.
Joseph's father, Sir William Hooker, was also a botanist and in 1841 became the first director of Kew. Under his leadership, the gardens were expanded, the arboretum was established, and Kew's great glass houses were built. This intriguing picture from 1847 is the first ever photograph of the interior of the Palm House, taken while it was under construction. There's some debate about who these two men are. Some believe it is William and Joseph Hooker, father and son. Just as his father was building a new Kew, Joseph was forging his career as a plant hunter. He scoured the globe in search of new plant species, making long journeys to Antarctica, the Himalayas and the Middle East.
Well, who would think about going to the Antarctic to look at plants, but he did.
He would spend 4 years in the Antarctic, 4 years in the Himalaya, where he experienced great privations, but he still came back with remarkable findings and remarkable collections. And we only have to look at these examples here on the table of Pringlia, which he collected, and a plant that was really important to him, not only in terms of being a new discovery, a whole new genus to science, but also because it affected his views on how plants were distributed across different parts of the planet.
Hooker gleaned more information about plant distribution during his expedition to the Himalayas, where he found new plant species unknown to botanical science.
So here we have some rhododendrons. Hooker travelled to India and collected 25 different species. And you can see these flowering all over Kew, but especially in the rhododendron dell.
The rhododendron dell was a particular favourite for Victorian visitors and one of Kew's most popular attractions. And this building, the herbarium, became the nerve centre for Kew, the place for storing and studying plants, including the 7,000 which Hooker brought back from India.
He also mapped out, for Kew at least, really the way we do botany in terms of the way we gather specimens, the way we exchange them internationally through collaborative networks, the way we actually document and describe plants in terse technical language. We owe these traditions to Hooker.
Botanical gardens appeared in every corner of the globe, and Joseph Hooker's Kew was their model. Kew had become, in Hooker's words, the botanical headquarters of the British Empire. Plants were assessed and sent out to India and the Far East to create new industries such as tea, coffee and rubber. In 1865, Joseph Hooker became director of Kew. Under his leadership, botany was transformed from amateur pastime into a discipline with science at its heart. Kew was changing too. Visitors could now come to the gardens by river and railway. Taking the air at Kew was quite the thing to do. With its grand vistas, stunning glass houses, and exotic gardens. Scientific work, not recreation, remained Hooker's real passion. In 1877, he undertook another epic mission, covering 8,000 miles in just 10 weeks, to the redwood forests of California. The sheer scale of these giants must have seemed astonishing. This photograph captures Hooker's plant hunting party enjoying a moment's refreshment.
This is a fantastic picture because, unlike many other pictures of Hooker, it's kind of showing him at work. But he's surrounded by this retinue of other field collaborators and quite a lot of servants as well. There's one black servant here and a chap in skins. I can relate to this, the whole atmosphere of a field camp of people, you know, making do and surviving in quite difficult conditions. What's so different, of course, is the formality.
Kew today has its very own redwood grove, giant and coastal redwoods planted in the 1860s.
I think that Joseph Hooker is an unsung hero. His achievements in botany were absolutely monumental. All those species he described, the contributions he made to our understanding of the geography of plant distributions. He is somebody who shaped the way we do science today, and he deserves wider recognition for that.
Joseph Hooker had helped to found the science of botany and built the Kew that we know today, one of the finest and best-loved botanic gardens in the world.
I love working at Kew, and one of the reasons I love working at Kew is this diverse range of plants, and that is Hooker's legacy.